Hello, everyone. It is Monday. How are we doing tonight? Welcome to Monday, people. We are here. We are live and in person at More 8 Than Ish. Who's with us tonight? Jennifer, hello. Cheers. I owe you a reply. I keep on meaning to actually call you with my reply, and then every time I want to call you, it's at an hour that's not appropriate. On one side of the spectrum or the other. Hey, Kitty. Hey, Adele and Dazzle. Vina, Karen. Hello. Welcome. Good to have you all with us. Greta. Everybody's just rolling on in here tonight. It's because I'm at More 8 Than Ish tonight. Good to have you all with us. Tell me what you are grateful for this Monday evening. Monday, the 21st of September, I think. Yes, the 21st of September. One day it'll fall. Tomorrow we'll be falling down. Tomorrow. But today, we're rising high. Well, I've been going to work at like 4 a.m., Jennifer, so I don't know if you want me to call you at 4. But you might be baking at 4. Who knows? It's back to school season. Opportunities. I like opportunities, Vina. Grateful this day is over. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, Jana, when I talked to my sister this morning, she was like, oh my God, it's freezing here. It's like 69. And when Cassandra got in the car this morning, it was 32 or 33 or something. Fall is here in Newfoundland. On the Peloton at 5. Okay, well, I'll see if I can catch you. I will catch up with you. Either tomorrow or the next day. I will get you. I will catch up with you. I always worry about people in this age of cell phones. I mean, it used to, in the olden days, it was only people like me that had a phone right near their bed that would answer it at all hours of the night. Now everybody has their phone there, so I hate to call people, even though I'm up and going. Had the fireplace on tonight. Well, that sounds cozy, Karen. I hear you, Jana. I hear you. You know, my sister was excited with that. When she comes up here in the fall, well, in the winter, she always likes, when I pick her up at the airport, she likes to drive around with the sunroof open and the windows down. You know, it could be, 20 degrees out or worse. And whenever she comes up, that's like, regardless of how cold it is, that's what she likes to do when she comes up here in the winter. Hey, Kelly, howdy. Good to have you with us tonight. Good to have you with us. So, what are we all grateful for this evening? Tell us about it. I mean, some breathable weather in Texas sounds good. That is encouraging. The cooler weather up here has certainly strengthened clothing sales. Well, that's good, Creta. I'm glad you had a good sales day considering the weather. Rainy, cold, I don't like. And I'm sorry about the leak, but that's the joy of commercial roofs. Can happen anywhere. I got one that we gotta have repaired in our sunroom, but it happens. Hey, Gwen, got a day off. Woohoo! Yeah. Congrats. That's awesome. Love it. Yeah, rain is generally good because they can't be doing something else, and it's still weird. This past weekend was the first almost normal business weekend that we've had since reopening, because the weekends have really not been a thing since reopening. It's been middle of the day. where business is strong. Middle of the day during the week. But I'm happy for any time business is strong. And still, the weirdest part of all of it, I've been talking about is the amount of cash people have been spending. I mean, we have seen more cash in a general sense than usual at times. So, but I'm happy, that saves the credit card fee, so I'm happy to take it. Hey, Dana and Jeff are with us tonight. Great to have the Johnsons here. Yeah, the weather change has really helped with the clothing. I mean, I'm hearing that from everybody. It is really pushing the clothing. So, Carrie, that's awesome that you're getting Mondays with your granddaughter. I'm so happy for you. Truly happy for you. Time to read a good book at night? That is great, Kelly. So there is a lot of things that people are grateful for tonight. That feeds my energy. That makes me excited. That I am grateful for. I think that's awesome. Truly awesome. Let's get to the Good Morning, Good Night book. Speaking of a good book, a book that's gotten us through this here. Some night we're going to have to get Lin-Manuel Miranda, see if he'll guest host one night or something and read the book for us. Maybe we can get him, see if he does a better job than I do reading the book. Since he wrote it, maybe we can get him to guest host. Anybody know him, give him a shout out. If anybody's besties with him. Maybe we can make that happen. We've been, reading this book for, we've been north of 180 days on here, and we didn't start it right away. I think we were a couple weeks in before we started the Good Morning, Good Night book. We were doing Dr. Seuss and other things, and my Dr. Seussing went away, and we found this book, and it really spoke to all of us. So tonight, I open the book on page 68. Page 68, if you're following along in the book like I know some of you are. Good morning, you. It's been a minute. Smiles, I do that. My friend likes you. Hashtags runs away. I don't know what's going to happen with our good night. Waiting to see the graphics on this. We got a lot happening, people, so I gotta hop in. I gotta update some business news and some political news, and then we gotta get to business here because there's a lot of business to be had. So buckle up. Let's get started. First, it's a good week to have a good week. It is. It's a good week to have a good week. Let's do it, people. International Space Station added to the set. The Lego International Space Station. It twists, it moves. It space shuttles. Okay. We've done the Lego International Space Station from the Lego corporate office. I'm just saying. We got it right here. Our friends, hey, Ann, how are you in Virginia? Great to have you here on this Monday night. Good to have you here. Kroger, our friends at Kroger, are deploying visual AI technology. Yeah, that means a lot of cameras. What are they doing with it? Okay, they are out to, as they, Rose, welcome to the safari. So what is Kroger doing? The Legos are cool. They are cool. So, I mean, that's pretty intense. The whole arm work, you know, you can do, it moves, it does things. It's way cool. Um, you know, it's not my flowers on my set, but it's still pretty gosh darn cool. So Kroger is deploying visual AI technology. And what are they doing with this technology, which involves a ton of cameras? They are using it to reduce shrink at self-checkout. So they are deploying a whole new technology suite to help them reduce shrink at self-checkout. You got to keep in mind that part of self-checkout, the math behind self-checkout, okay, they talk about customer convenience and all that BS. But part of the math around self-checkout is, one, most people are inherently honest. And I am a firm believer in that because most people are. Okay, yeah, there's always that person who isn't, but most people are inherently honest. The cost of shrink at self-checkout is offset by the reduction in labor. Okay? But it does the shrink at self-checkout now with the convergence of online ordering, in-store pickup, buy online, pickup in-store, and home delivery is resulting in out of stocks. So you need to reduce that because that pisses people off. That when people order online and pick up in-store and they show up and you don't have their Olay cream in the trial size. Is that what this is? No, excuse me. This is Olay body wash in the trial size. Just happen to have a prop here. When you don't have that in their order and they have to let you know that, sorry, we're out of that, even though they ordered it online, it really pisses people off. And so while other areas can, you know, cause that, the shrink at the self-checkout is a big area. So they're investing in a ton of technology in this visual AI technology to help reduce that. Part of it will count items versus what's being rung up. It's a whole thing that they are piloting and really have strong intentions to run out to their whole stores. So it's important to understand the why and the psychology behind that and why that's happening. So just be aware of that and know that that is happening. Ooh, Frankenstein went up to the International Space Station. Okay, I'm going to save that one. We're going to cover that tonight because that is important, but I got two things on the same people to cover, and I want to cover it together. Unspent gift cards from bankrupt retailers. Okay, yeah. Well, where am I? My printer was on landscape at one point today. So I had things printed weird. That's what I get for doing a lot of spreadsheets and stuff. There are a whole bunch of lawsuits now challenging the bankruptcies of Lord & Taylor, Sur La Table, Steinbart, Century 21, over policies in their bankruptcy that essentially render gift cards unusable during the bankruptcy proceedings and makes their gift cards worthless. The lawyers are arguing that retailers don't give customers adequate information about bankruptcy gift card expiration, so shoppers lose spending power as expiration dates slide by. Under the current bankruptcy laws, there's currently no legal obligation to honor them. So the retailers are like, why start now? Why does it matter? All the half-spent gift certificates in shoppers' wallets can become windfalls to the bankrupt retailers. For example, Lord & Taylor is sitting on $35.5 million in unspent gift cards, according to its bankruptcy filing. Pier 1 was sitting on, in February, roughly $59 million in unspent gift cards. And this is bigger than the bankruptcy court. Between $2 and $4 billion of all U.S. gift cards each year are never spent. Think about that. Between $2 and $4 billion. Billion, that's a B! In gift cards are never spent every year. And we talked earlier on in the pandemic, I don't have the stat handy on Starbucks gift cards. And basically, yeah, that's a hell of a stat, huh, Adele? And Starbucks, for example, and the important thing from the Starbucks lesson that they gave, the part that I remember from when we talked about it way long ago, is that if a Starbucks gift card isn't redeemed in the first, I think it's like 45 days, 30 to 45 days, the chances of it being redeemed are like nil. Okay? Yes, so selling more gift cards is a big deal. But having worked with such a variety of independent retailers over the years, okay, having consulted to so many across so many industries, I can tell you that when you have a store closing sale, I mean, people will find the paper gift certificates that they had of yours from 1975, okay, in their junk drawer to come in and try to redeem it. I can tell you that happens, gift cards, etc. And, quite honestly, most independent retailers do everything they can to honor them. And they do that because even if they're closing, they believe in their integrity and in their name. And a promise made is a promise kept. And that's what a gift card is. When somebody buys a gift card to your store, it is a promise kept. And you should be keeping it on your books, just like these other retailers, as a liability. Okay, it is a liability. It is cash in and an increase to gift cards payable. When it's redeemed, it reduces gift cards payable and goes to merchandise sold. So, is the accounting side of it. But it's a promise made. And most independent retailers, okay, are a promise made is a promise kept. So, and I have seen that time and time again, even when retailers were, independent retailers were in really tough positions. I've worked, just the variety of retailers that I have worked with over the years, you see them come out of the woodwork. I mean, I remember this one golf store I was working with, and the people that showed up. I mean, with gift cards for or paper gift certificates. Really, was the real funny thing that people found. I know I'm sitting on a couple Nordstrom ones right now. I think is what Cassandra told me. But my Starbucks ones get loaded to my Starbucks app, and I use those. Or actually, Cassandra and Rebecca use them because they have the Starbucks app on their phone, and it magically zaps my gold card. Hey, Suzanne and MJ, great to have you here tonight. Such a busy night we got going here. As we head into fall, this is a sad stat. Working parents that have quit due to the pandemic. Okay, and this is because working parents are among those most affected by the pandemic, struggling to juggle childcare and work responsibility. Now, new data finds that it's taking its toll on employees and their employers. Nearly half of working parents have had to quit or reduce hours because of the pandemic, according to FlexJobs survey of more than 2,500 parents with children 18 and younger living at home. 40% have had to change their employment situation by either voluntarily reducing their hours 25% or quitting entirely 15%. An additional 5% said their partner has had to either reduce their hours or quit jobs. The data is the latest to underscore the toll the pandemic is taking on working parents. And we've seen this. We've seen it in the stress of our customers. We've seen it in the reality of our own employees. It's a real thing. It's part of why there was this whole push of getting people back to school, because it gets people back to normal. Another interesting stat in that is that a company that makes and controls, the swipe systems to get into buildings, so like you take your ID badge and you swipe it to get into a building, that company um, and they have things all over the country, said they're currently running at about 50% of pre-pandemic swipes, which I actually thought was pretty high. So if you think of office buildings and other places that would have swipes, where you would swipe to get into a building, it's currently, for this company that does buildings all over the country, running at 50%, which is actually, all things considered, pretty good if there's 50% of people going into offices, and quite honestly, that's other manufacturing facilities and any type of business that requires a swipe is kind of a good thing, all things considered. So, but it's not normal yet. That's why we haven't extended our hours yet back to our normal, like, after work hours, because people aren't going to work and aren't working normal hours. So there you go. That's a later one. I thought it was pretty, but on the same token, so we've talked about, people are talking about when they'll return to the office and everything else. And there's a lot in the news media talking about how the office is dead. Like, companies will just have everybody work from home from now on, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just not true. And to show that's not true, while REI, who had built their custom new headquarters near Seattle, and then said, nope, we're not going to move in, we're not going to use it now that we built it because of the pandemic, and remote working, we're not going to use it, Facebook is buying it. So Facebook is buying the custom headquarters and plans to staff it and have people there. That's great, Krita. I'm glad that normal hours is starting to work for you. So far, we're not missing anything. Here and there we have somebody that's like, oh, I wish you were still open later, but it's the exception. So far we're not missing it, but we're starting to get some of our later people back to work. So it'll be traffic. It'll be traffic flow. Will be one of the indicators, Kelly. It'll be when we get to closing time, because we have a pretty much rule. I don't kick people out. So if we have a bunch of people in there when we're shopping, so it'll be one of the biggest guides will be that my staff is there later and later. But we're also getting some of the people that didn't come back that were their second job. That we are their second job are starting to come back. They weren't able to come back right away because of restrictions of their other job. One of them works for a nursing home. One of them has been working actually a crazy schedule for the vet. They work for a veterinarian full time, and with the influx of pets that people took on during the pandemic, they've been working a crazy schedule of 12 days on, 2 days off. And so those are two that start back week after next? I don't know. I've lost track of days, so maybe the end of next week? Maybe the end of next week, actually. Yeah, that may be, Dana. And it's also, you weren't hit as bad as we were hit in Massachusetts. So part of it is we were very hard hit, with COVID in this area, and we had the highest unemployment rate in the country, of any state in the country. So we were shut down longer than most every state. So, I think that all has something to do with it, but we fully continue to monitor it. I mean, I'm watching all the metrics on that, absolutely, because I don't want to miss out on anything. But I also don't want to overextend my team. And they're holding bug flying through the studio. And they're holding steady right now. They're doing good, and even my younger one, I'm fortunate where I didn't lose some good students this year because of all the online classes. Most of them aren't live, so there's not as much to schedule around. So that's really good. And so I'm blessed by that, and they're even being really flexible in how we shift things around. So we're in a good spot. Centennial Malls has hatched a plan to let people shop their malls like they shop Amazon. And this is kind of interesting, okay? It's not new creating an online mall, but this mall operator, Centennial, is getting a website set up on that'll scrape all of their tenants' websites. So if you want to search for red shoes on what's going to be the new Centennial Mall website, it will scrape all their tenants' websites and show you all the shoes that are red high-heeled shoes for you from their available tenants. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I like the concept of it. Again, you have to drive traffic. This is why we like some of the in the resale business, we like some of the other things like eBay and Poshmark and stuff to ultimately drive traffic to our own sites. So it'll be interesting to see if people take advantage of that and walk the virtual mall for the things that they're looking for versus going directly to a store or going directly to an Amazon. So they look at this as a competition to Amazon. I don't know that it's fully competition to Amazon, but I think it could have a real regional effect. Like, there's 3 shoe stores in your mall, and you wanted to go hit DSW and Famous Footwear and something else in your mall. And so now you want red shoes, you go to the mall website, and you search to see who has what in stock. It could have a powerful effect regionally. That's something to watch and keep an eye on, because I think it could really be interesting from that perspective. That goes there. Yeah, I told you there was a lot going on in the world right now. In slightly whatever news, GNC has canceled their bankruptcy auction and plans to be acquired by a Chinese investor. There's a lot of federal concern over that. It goes with the same Chinese paranoia fears that are going on right now, but it's over the data. It's actually over healthcare data that it's viewed that GNC has on you. Okay, if you're buying these supplements or these vitamins or these other things, it is viewed that GNC has a certain level of healthcare data on you, and that privacy concern getting into foreign hands may sink that deal. So just be aware of that. Not that we're all competing in the vitamin space, but you should be aware of what's happening in the business world and in how that affects. GNC runs a lot of stores, and it's not all in malls. They've really expanded to strip centers. I think they have like 5,000 stores. So that affects the retail real estate space dramatically. For a lot of sweet spot spaces, when you think about it, for a lot of clothing stores that operate in our resale industry in prime areas. So just something to keep in mind. Francesca's is unlikely to make it in this whole thing. They've issued a going concern warning, and their sales continue to tank as well as their cash. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Their eclectic mix of things has always been kind of interesting, and I worked with their IT guy and a couple of other people at one point, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And that's a Houston-based retailer, I believe. I believe that's where they're at. Texas, I know that. I know I've met with them in Texas, so I forget whether it's Dallas or Houston. Our friends at Kohl's are cutting 15% of their corporate workforce. Again, this is just restructuring. It's how do you become more agile post-pandemic? How do you, during the pandemic, become more agile and thrive beyond the pandemic? So they are adjusting their corporate workforce and are going to slash that by 15%. Do I have a count on how many jobs that is? It's going to save $65 million in expenses. In the third quarter of this year. So it's their goal is to, and this is important, and this is what's important in this. It's not the job cuts that Kohl's is doing. It's how they're accomplishing it. Okay, when you think of a company like Kohl's and what they do, and this is like a lot of other companies, and what I see here every day at the Lego corporate office right over here. Okay, it is a restructuring to empower decision-making and reduce management layers, streamline communications, and drive greater efficiency in many areas of their business. So I always say when a problem gets to me, okay, in our business, it costs too much. It costs more than whatever it would have cost at the lowest level to resolve it. And that's what Kohl's is saying. How do we resolve it at the lowest level? How do you drive that down, okay? And how do you do that? How do you empower the lowest levels to make decisions, to trust them? You know, that's a Ritz thing, an Embassy Suites hotel thing, okay? You know, that yes is part of it. It's a Lego thing. You know, what do you need? Okay, yes. It's how do you move to yes faster? And that's not to give the store away. Most of the time, you're never giving the store. It comes back to how can we make you happy? And stores have different businesses have varying degrees of success with that. Home Depot today, I placed 2 orders for the same thing. One at a store close to our store, and one at Home Depot close to our house. And I got a delay message that your order may be delayed till tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, Rebecca's out doing grocery shopping and other things. I'll have her pick it up at the Home Depot that's near the grocery store, and I'll save time. Well, the one at the store was, near our stores, was cheaper by a couple of dollars. I mean, it wasn't big money. And they're like, oh, I'm contacting online. I'm like, okay, can you fix this and match the price, make the price the same? And they're like, well, that can't be. And then they're like, huh, it is. We don't know why that is. I'm like, okay, so you'll just credit me the difference? Well, you have to go in store, and you'll have to bring your receipt and all this stuff. They made it difficult for me to get my $1.50. And I don't want to diminish the cost of $1.50, but that person on the web chat that saw this should have been able to just easily issue a credit and do the right thing. So what are you doing to remove administrative layers so problems don't get to you? I like to say most things don't need me. I have the illusion of power. Okay, if I'm doing my job well, I become irrelevant. Okay, so what are you doing in your business to drive down decision making? That's what Kohl's says they're doing with this, as well as reducing costs. And I'll take them at their word for right now. But that's a big part of streamlining, okay, of getting more efficient. And you have to get more efficient, not only during this pandemic, because we are still right in the middle of this, folks. We are right deep center in the middle of this, okay? But after it, you have to be more efficient. That is how you thrive. That is how you grow your way out of this, okay? It is not about cutting things to the bone. It is about getting more efficient so you can grow your way out of this. And that is what you learn from this article. That's what you say from what Kohl's is doing is I want to be smart like them. How do I drive that down? And that's what I say when a problem comes to my desk. Okay, one, I want to know what they want to do to solve it. Okay, because that's important. It's not about what I would do. And I know a lot of you say, what would Neil do? I ask myself, what would Neil do? And that's fine to ask yourself in your head. And I'm okay with that. Okay? But you want your team asking what you would do. What would Dana do? What would Kath do? That's if your team is doing that, if your team is thinking like that, even if they're not right on the money with it, if it didn't land in your lap, if the problem or question didn't land in your lap, it was cheaper solved by somebody else ahead of you. The costs were less. And it freed you up to do other things like Carrie did today and spent time with her grandbaby. Or Gwen did today and had the day off. Okay? And when you have those moments, turn off your phone. Okay? You don't need it. It can wait. Nothing is, unless the building's on fire, and even then you want them to call the fire department first, not you. Yes, even if the printer is spitting sparks, you want them to call the fire department first, not you. True story. But I am not going to give you that full story tonight. Since I've mentioned Lego so much tonight, I'll give you that they're doing, again, circular economy, keep taking care of our environment. They're replacing the clear plastic bags in sets like this with recyclable paper. Good for Lego. Like, you couldn't see this coming. So, our friends at FedEx. Absolutely, Julie. Isn't that great? I mean, when you forget it, that is a wonderful breath of peace. You don't need it, okay? It's unneeded, okay? It's not something that matters, okay? We can survive without it. The world will not end. Your world will not end. It just won't. Okay? One of our greatest moments in management, in management learning was we were away on a trip for a while. I think it was one of our combination. We were away for NARTS, and then we took a vacation right afterwards. And our team did a really great job of not bothering us at all. I think there was one thing or something that they actually needed a call while we were away. When I got back, they had a list of questions. They had a pad, and these are the things I have for you. And we went down the pad, and most of that pad was, okay, what do you want to do with this? How do you want to handle this? And was my reply to that, and they answered it. And at the end of that, and I'm like, okay, that's it? And I'm like, okay, great. If it didn't need us while we were away, then it doesn't need us while we're back. And my managers looked at me and went, huh? I'm like, if it didn't need us while we were away, whatever it was, okay, we were gone for 2-3 weeks, whatever it was. I'm like, if it didn't need us while we were away, it doesn't need us now that we're back. Think about that. Digest that. Because that is empowering people. That is driving decision-making down to the lowest levels. That is letting go so that you can grow. Let it go so you can grow. That is how we do this, people. What do I got? What else do I got for you tonight? New York City, our friends in New York City, they didn't just open the biggest Krispy Kreme on earth last week. Zach Evans Well, Marianne is calling out Zach. Hello, Marianne. New York City is not only home to the world's largest Krispy Kreme, okay, where the hot light's on 24 hours a day. 24 hours. 24 hours a day. Okay, they are also home, okay, to the world's first, or the U.S.'s first, okay, first COVID-related supply store, okay? It is called, the store is called CV19 Essential. It's on West 35th Street in Manhattan's Herald Square area. Herald Square, think Macy's. The shop sells a variety of products and gadgets for personal use. Oops, hang on, battery issues here. Homes and businesses designed to help keep COVID-19 at bay, including cell phone sanitizer, portable air purifiers, plexiglass dividers, and UV lights. And, you know, you just got to look at the display of masks on display there. Masks on display. You know, and if there's a market for that at New York City rents, okay, just think about it. Personally, I'd skip that store and go to the Krispy Kreme. I'm just saying. If I can get a day off from something, I'm thinking a road trip to New York City for the Krispy Kreme is in order. We are making progress through my pile here, people, because I had a lot to cover tonight, and oh, that's a good quote. Hang on a second, people. I am organizing on the go here tonight. There is an mask group targeting retail, grocery, and restaurants. There's an aggressive new anti-mask effort that purports to target retail, grocery, and restaurants with its message and resources. The group is organized under the website thehealthyamerican.org, thehealthyamerican.org, which presents a variety of do-it-yourself resources and paperwork that encourages followers to educate retail workers and businesses and then potentially file complaints of religious, disability, and other instances of discrimination by businesses and employees with the U.S. Department of Justice. The website instructs individuals to take photos of employees, businesses, and other examples of such discrimination for an official complaint. They also encourage bringing complaints to state and local health departments. Outreach efforts by these individuals include podcasts and daily video testimonials on YouTube to further expand its anti-masking message and reach more consumers. Businesses targeting thus far include retail businesses, grocery stores, bars, restaurants, and gas stations. Transportation outlets including buses, taxis, metro and airlines, public and private sector schools, medical offices, clinics, and hospitals, city, state, county, and federal offices and courthouses, parks, and beaches. And I'd like to say I'm kidding you, but I am not good at that, Rose. It is totally irresponsible and wrong. TheHealthyAmerican.org is the one pushing this, but it is attacking, and it's mainly attacking ones thus far with deep pockets or ones that are connected to deep pockets in some ways. That is correct, Kelly. They'll bog down authorities and other things even more than they already are. It is a terrible thing. It is something that is being monitored. Our friends in Washington are monitoring it, and other regional people are as well. It's just wrong. You know, we don't have a big problem with it up here. We've had a little, very minor, very, very minor. Uh, That's correct, Kitty. And you're allowed to have a mask mandate. You are private property. Okay, you're following the rules. You're allowed to do whatever you want as long as you're doing it evenly. And what I mean by evenly, as long as you're not saying you're letting people of a current of a certain race in without a mask, but people of another race without it, people of a certain gender without a mask, but people of another gender with, you're requiring masks. So if you required all men to have a mask, but all women could come in without it, you would have a problem. But as long as you're level in what you're doing, you are fine as a private business. It's sad. Rose, I think you've been doing an awesome job right from the beginning on this. Right from the beginning. You know, I hate that we have to wear masks, okay? I personally hate it. I hate that we have to do it. But I fully agree with the science behind doing it, okay? I hate doing it because I miss your smile. I miss your reactions. I miss seeing you smile. And I truly miss that. Let her file it, Kitty. Don't lose sleep over it. You're doing the right thing. But I miss people's smile. I really do. I miss that kind of reaction. I don't have the coordination to do eye smiles. How's that? That's a thing, right? Eye smiles? And I just can't. And that requires a different level, I guess, of coordination, of just happiness, whatever. I'm a happy guy. But we're going to get to the other side of this, but masks are a huge part of that, okay? And that, I just know that from growing up, and it's just important to have. So we recently had one person who said they were exempt. At least they were only doing order pickup, buy online, pick up in store, and we had them out of there quickly. We had another situation recently with someone that had a mask on but was coughing in the store and made other people feel uncomfortable. I personally know, one, she had just come from the doctor. Two, she has like COPD or emphysema or like 12 other things from her 50 years of smoking. Or 70 years of smoking, she's up there. She knew she was making people feel uncomfortable, and she talked to us and she left. But I knew it wasn't a COVID thing because she's always coughing, okay? It was nice to have her actually understand that and leave. But yes, yeah, hold strong. This is be mask strong. The anti-maskers are a losing on this side. Yeah, the new thing is fines, and it's interesting. I'll see if I can find the article that I have about it. There is a whole psychology between giving a fine or giving a reward. So do you reward the people that are wearing, sort of the philosophy of, do you reward the people that are wearing a mask, or do you punish people for not? And punishment has a greater effect, okay, the threat of punishment has a greater effect on compliance than a reward. Or even just the reward of being healthy, of protecting yourself. Okay, I mean, we are concerned about it. We're certainly dealing with the public, so we're more at risk than like our friends who were able to have a very, very quick dinner with last night that we hadn't seen in forever, who have been stuck at home. But, we're doing our part to protect everybody. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Their son just started college and is getting tested twice. The college is testing everybody. Well, It's testing all athletes, and he's an athlete, twice a week, and everybody else once a week. So it's kind of interesting what's happening there. It's true, but Dana, it's true that you can ask what their medical reason is or anything else or any proof, but you can have a rule in your business, okay, that you don't allow anyone in without a mask. It is okay to have that rule as long as you evenly apply it. Okay, so you can have that rule that you don't allow anyone in without a mask, even if they have a medical condition. And that's essentially what Costco's doing. Okay? They're saying, don't shop with us. Okay? Others are saying that. I hope they are taking it seriously. I mean, it affects all of us. I mean, we're all, that 6 degrees of separation from it today. And, many of you know from NARTS conferences and longtime NARTS affiliate Charles Albert Jewelry, and who's Charles Albert's an actual person. But his brother-in-law currently has COVID and is currently in really bad shape and likely not to make it. Okay? It's, we're all 6 degrees of separation. You give people other options, but the key is even application of whatever your rule is. So if you don't allow anybody in without a mask, regardless of their waiver, that is fully your right as a business. You are on private property and are a private place. You are a public location, but a private business and private property. So that is how you go with that. So lastly tonight, and I've got more. This is going to be a busy week. I can already see the way my desk is going, that this is going to be a very busy week. We have a lot to cover this week. I promised you that we're going to talk about email. We're also going to talk about how to raise your prices. We're going to talk about raising your prices. That's been a topic today, and when and how you can do it. And I've got stuff for clothing stores, furniture stores. We're going to talk about raising the roof on your prices, and even during a pandemic, what areas you can do that in. That's another topic for this week. So, lastly tonight is the big W. The big W. Okay, and that is our friends at Walmart. Okay, and they are doing everything to keep themselves in the news, and that's really part of the important takeaway of what I'm going to cover here. Okay, they have benefited so much during this pandemic as being an essential retailer, as being one of the only places that you could shop everything in person. Okay, in most states. There were some states that later on restricted them, made them close down some aisles while other businesses were closed. But most states, you could shop everything at Walmart in person all the time. And it was the get-out, go-to place. And their sales boomed. Boomed, people. Okay? But they are trying to remain relative in a positive light through and beyond this to keep their revenue stream going. So what have they got going on? I got, 5 different things here that are happening at Walmart. Okay? One, they're trying again in apparel with a new private label. They've unveiled Free Assembly, a private apparel label priced between $9 and $45. The fall collection includes more than 30 items for women and 25 items for men to try to attract them. Was led by a designer whose resume includes J. Crew, Old Navy, and Bonobos. So they are trying to go after it to get attention in fashion. They have made no dents in, the next step up in fashion, which is viewed as Target. Okay, Target has always had a more quality line of fashion than Walmart. They even 15 years ago tried to take out ads in Vogue magazine to highlight their new higher priced apparel lines. But they're really trying to do that and to grow their sales. Their U.S. store sales are up almost 10% this year, and operating income grew almost 9%. Income, 9%. So, oops, that wasn't a Walmart one. This one's really interesting, and I've been thinking about how we can twist on this. Walmart adds a twist to membership program to help shoppers revisit their missed moments. This is good. Okay? Walmart's new membership program is looking to plus up some of the birthdays, vacations, and other special events canceled due to COVID. Walmart Plus is launching a new program called Walmart Plus Up, designed to provide select customers with experience they have missed and could not otherwise undergo during the pandemic. The first Walmart Plus Up event happens Sunday, September 20th. Elliot, an anesthesiologist who leads the critical care unit's COVID-19 response at Virginia Mason Medical Center in Seattle, and his family will be the only family in attendance during yesterday's Seattle Seahawks home opener. During the next 4 months, the Walmart Plus Up initiative will also feature an immersive Halloween trunk-or-treat, contact-free trick-or-treating experience, a home classroom setup, a wedding redo, a virtual Thanksgiving with all the trimmings, and an at-home movie theater experience, a socially distanced birthday party, a quinceanera celebration. I'm screwing that up. You know I'm screwing that up. Quinceanera. What is it? Quinceanera. Quinceanera. My peanut gallery is trying to help me. And an at-home vacation designed around a canceled trip. And an at-home Super Bowl tailgate. Woo! Walmart says surprise celebrities may also participate in some of the events. So again, they're just trying to keep themselves in the news, and they're telling you. So Walmart's telling you how they're going to remain relevant through Super Bowl Sunday. Okay, how they're going to stay in the news. So I was thinking, one of the things we haven't done this year, and we've been talking about it, is birthday coupons. So we haven't sent out birthday coupons, and traditionally we've mailed birthday coupons. And we mail a birthday postcard, and people have loved it, okay, because it's physical, it's tangible, it's a piece of paper they get to hold in their wallet, and it's a big deal to them, okay? And so, maybe we take a slower time this year and mail out the year's worth of birthday coupons. Yes, we missed your birthday on time, but, here it is. And we do boom. Or something. What can you do to recreate and make people feel special about events that they have missed this year, and even events with your store? I think Marianne just was on here, and I think she's still on. Her Pink Friday, okay? She doesn't do Black Friday, she does Pink Friday in November. And that won't be the same with the crowds it draws and everything else with social distancing, but what else can you do to add the pink to their life? Could she do something online? Could she paint the town pink? Could she ask her customers to show us a picture of themselves in pink to save? Show your pink picture and save. I don't know. Could she dress Zach up in a pink bunny outfit or something and get him to be the pink ambassador? I don't know what the answer is, but there's been a lot of missed events this year. And so what can you do, okay, to do what Walmart's doing, but actually have a greater effect? What Walmart did yesterday, having one family at the Seattle Seahawks game, got them a lot of press, okay, but didn't touch a lot of families. A lot of press, not touching a lot of families. What can you do to relive, okay, missed experiences for people that will actually touch your customers. Okay, actually reach and touch your customers and have an amazing effect on them. I don't know what that is in your world, but I know that that concept of what they were talking about struck a chord with me. And so what can we do to do that? I'm thinking about it. I'm going to get my peanut gallery thinking about it, who's far better at it than I am, and we'll see where we go with it. Lastly, with our big W, and this one you might have already heard about, is Walmart's increasing pay for approximately 165,000 hourly workers across its stores. I love it, Kath, that your grocery store has a St. Patrick's display with corned beef, cabbage, and Guinness. Actually, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because, you know I have the Lego corporate office here, but if you actually went to the Lego office and walked by the Lego cafeteria, it's still set up for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah,
okay.
It still has the menu up.
And it still has the menu up for St. Patrick's Day because that's when the Lego corporate office closed. And everybody started working remotely. So, it just touches close to home. So Walmart, our friends at Walmart are increasing pay for approximately 165,000 workers by introducing new leadership roles and cross-training opportunities and introducing a new team-based operating model in Supercenters, similar to one that's been successful at Sam's Club over the past year. That's the headline. Okay, we're paying people more. People can earn increasing from $11 an hour to $15 or higher. Some people can earn as much as $30 an hour. That's the headline. What they're really doing is accelerating raises that they'd give next February. Okay, when you dive down into the details of what they're really doing, is the raises that would happen in February are happening in October. So, yes, that's a good thing for people. Don't get me wrong. I think that's great. And putting money in people's pockets is a good thing. But you have to realize where that's coming from. Hey, Zach, how are you? Your buddies dance at the bachelor party, okay? I'm not sure about that, Zach. I'm just going there. Okay? But you have to understand what's happening with some of the PR behind this, okay? Again, step back to what I talked to about Kohl's, about gaining efficiency, okay? About being better. Because then you hop to Hobby Lobby. Okay, Hobby Lobby's in the news because they're jumping their minimum wage to $17 an hour for all full-time workers starting October 1st. That sounds great. Okay, it sounds great. And Hobby Lobby has a history of having their wages ahead of other retailers. Again, it sounds great. It's a great headline. It's absolutely fabulous. But what's behind that headline is increased efficiency. Increased efficiency. Every time Hobby Lobby drives their wages higher. I was actually in a Hobby Lobby store when they went to a $15 minimum wage. Okay, so I was in it when they announced it to staff across the internal radio. So, the mic, the little walkie-talkies that everybody's wearing. I was in a Hobby Lobby store when that was announced. Okay, and they were quick to understand that meant less hours available for total payroll. The payroll dollars didn't change. It didn't mean there was 10% more payroll dollars available. Okay, so that meant they had a gain, that they continued to drive efficiencies within their store so they could do more with less payroll hours. What are you doing to drive efficiency so you can grow your business? Okay, grow your wages so your good people are getting paid more, okay, but do it with less payroll. That is a key important factor here. That is the lesson in this. Okay, it's not about Walmart paying, or Hobby Lobby paying $17 an hour. And oh my God, if I had to pay my people $17 an hour, okay. But how do you do that? How do you drive that level of efficiency? What are you doing in your business to be more efficient? Okay, and I've talked about that since the beginning of this, people, is how do we drive that level of efficiency? So that is the news behind the headlines with the big W, but why it's so important to you. Okay, so W, why? Because I'm trying, I don't just talk about this to talk about the news or the other retail news. It has a direct effect on you and your business, and you can do this. You are capable. Yes, you're in control of this. You can do it, and I know you can. Okay, because I'm on your team. I'm sitting right here. Just like Jewish grandma, I'm sitting right here with you. Okay? And we're going to get you to the other side of it. Okay? Thank you, Rose. Yeah, but you've got your big girl panties on, Julie. You're doing it. You're being the leader your company needs you to be. You are being the leader for your company that you needed to be. And if it wasn't the right thing, they wouldn't be giving you a little bit of pushback. Okay, if it wasn't the right thing, they wouldn't be giving you a little bit of pushback. But they will thank you later on for doing this, because you're building a stronger repeat streak. Okay, you are building a stronger company by doing this. And I know it's not natural or native to most of you. That's not what got you in this business. That's not what got you in business. Okay? That's good. You hold strong. You hold strong. You are strong. You know what, Julie? You are resale strong. Yes. Resale strong, people. That is what you are. You can do this. I am there right at your side each and every step of the way. You know, this video, everything we talk about, the articles that I talk about, everything is over at narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon! It's right there for you, easy and accessible. I am here live in the Narts private Facebook group every night at more 8 than ish. Okay, more 8 than ish every night live, where you get to ask me your questions live. But don't fret, it's all organized at Resale Strong, so you can watch it at your convenience. The replay, I mean, incredibly humbling how much of you watch the replay. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm honored by that. Truly honored. Narts, but it's also there so you can share it with all your friends, neighbors, grocery store owner, whatever their business is. You share it, we'll get everybody across the finish line here. Yes, we will. And if you or anyone, I talk to everybody, has a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil,